Hey y'all, welcome back, the old two-stroker YouTube channel. Today we're working on this junk. And what I was thinking today, we haven't really touched this thing in a while, it's just been kind of sitting here, and it's making me sad. Sun's out, beautiful day, albeit very cold. That's okay. I think we're gonna try to get this thing starting from inside the cab with the push button. Last time, if you remember, we bypassed it and went right to the starter. So not only that, we're going to convert it from 24 volt start to 12 volt start. And I got a new starter to do that, same one that I put on the race truck. I liked it so much. So that's a little bit about what we're going to do. I got to move the pallet forks from in front of it so we can get the hood open. We'll do that. I'll just do that on my own, and then we'll dig right in. So let's get to work, eh? All right, so if you remember from last time, this was not a lot of fun. It's down in there, pretty friggin' buried. We got to pull the exhaust off here. I think I took that whole pipe off, and that's what allowed us to get to the top bolt of the starter up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done, and let's get started. But yeah, it looks like she's faring all right through the winter. I don't see anything. There's no puddles underneath it other than whatever this is. I think this is power steering or something. Not real sure what that is, but clearly that's been wet for a long time. Yeah, so I think we'll take a look and see what we have for coolant or oil. Perfect. It's not like some insane amount up the stick, so I'm worried about oil getting in it or coolant getting in the oil, you know. I'm not gonna pull a drain plug because we already did that when we first started it, and it was fine. And it had been sitting for 400 years, so I'm not worried about it.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening.
That's how you do that without a hammer. Bingo. Battery cable check. Deleted. Oh wow, boys, it's frozen right into the earth. Well, somehow it got tighter as it got colder. Inconvenient. Oh, God. You know, I'm the guy that put that on there. Oh, God, I'm stuck. That's very inconvenient. Bingo. Got it. Ouch. Got it. Perfect. All right, fellas, I'm gonna go take that starter in. We're gonna rotate the nose cone around like you see me do in the past. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch a video where we get this thing running. I believe I did it in that video also. I also did it in the race truck video. I do it all the time, so I'm not gonna bother recording it again, but have yourself a fruit juice, and I'll be back. One-handed, fellas. That's a new record. Get in there.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home?
There it is. Boy, I wish I bought this frickin' thing to begin with. What can you say? Boys live and learn. Boys live and learn. All right, boys. Can't really see much from up there, so I'll just show you from down here. I mounted the solenoid on the side like we did on the race truck, and we're all connected up in there. I think. So this is going to get a little funky. This is our solenoid wire right here. You can see I'm holding it there. That's got to go over to this terminal here. I got to go get a different tool for that, 5/16. And then we can start to deal with this mess here. Now, trace these wires, I believe they're kind of just hood boogered in here. And they go to the quick disconnects that are in the floor, which we saw before, that are all corrody and disgusting. We're going to see if they work. Just cause we're already here, we might as well. And then they come down around and into here. So this is going to be the hot side, and this looks like it's the ground. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go get a meter, and we're going to test these and make sure that I'm not totally out of my gourd. That's a good sign. All right, let's see if I get anything now. Nothing. Well, I guess something there. That's gonna be. It's like 310 ohms, so that's gotta be a circuit. I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's see. Bingo. So that's your cab power there on that log. I'm wondering if we can just, you son of a bitch, it just broke off the friggin', legit just broke off of the series parallel. What I'm on about is a series parallel switch there. See that? You see this terminal broke off right there, and this was the wire right here. And if it touches there, it makes contact, we're good. So that tells me that the power transfers through here, through this thing, and into this cable here, which is what supplies power to the cab. So I'm gonna do a little bit of digging, have another fruit juice, and I'll be back. All right, fellas, what we've got going on is, excuse me, got the exhaust bolted back up. That's all good. I haven't hit the key yet. We do have power in the cab now, so I'm gonna tighten up this battery terminal, turn the ignition on, and we'll see if we can't hit the button and just see, let's just see if the engine even turns at this point with this whole setup before we get crazy. I've got absolutely nothing. Why? Hey fellas, let's have a chat about wiring. So when you're doing this, because I'm sure some of you are going to end up in this position, there's a wire that comes from the start switch, whether it's this button or that button over there, doesn't really matter, down to the series parallel to tell the series parallel to do its switching kind of thing. And then there's another wire that comes off of that and goes to the starter solenoid. The starter solenoid side we have hooked up. So when you remove this, you obviously have no connection from the start switch to the starter. So what you do, the wire going to the starter from the series parallel is number 34, you can see it here. The wire coming from the dash is number 29. That's this one here. What I've done is I booger hooked the two together just barely, and I'm gonna put y'all back on a stand. And well, actually what we'll do is I'll try to do this and just hold you here. Bingo. I think what's happening is these connections up here are now showing their weakness. That just killed all power.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a...
Alright. Well, that's a project for another day. Alright, boys. So it has been a friggin' minute since the last time we touched this cat truck. And to be honest with you, I'm sorry about that. I know a lot of you are here to watch that truck get rebuilt. But if you watch some of my other videos, there's a lot of trucks here. My cab over's next. That's gotta happen. But before that, what we've got to do is we got to get this truck, the cat truck, running and driving. I mean, it runs. You saw it run, but we need to get it mobile. And there's a couple things we need to do in order to do that, and we'll go over them. One, you just saw me putting a starter in it, and where we ended was the battery cables were no bueno where they connect to the shutoffs. So we're gonna have to do something there. But I owe you a bit of an explanation as to where I've been. I know I haven't been posting like I normally do. Usually I try to post every week, and it's nonstop around here. And I'm sorry for that. I've been absolutely thrashing on this thing every day after work, just constantly working to get this caddy together. So where we left off was we got the brandy new starter on it, and it wouldn't crank. It acted like it had no voltage, no connection. So way up under here, you probably can't even see it, there's those these battery disconnects. That's what these two switches are right here, these things. And no matter what I did last time, I couldn't get them to make any kind of connection. They would just, I mean, you know, you like hit the key and then all power goes out. That's a bad connection. And that's the bad connection is right there, I'm sure of it. So we're gonna get the wires off of that today and try to rewire it and see if we can't get it. Once we get it cranking, there's some other things we got to do, but that's step number one. I don't know about a view on these shutoffs. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to even get a camera in there for you to see, but I'm gonna go do that and then we'll be back. All right, fellas. This is a positive that was on that terminal up there. I left my light on, shocking. So let me show you. Actually, they came right off. I couldn't believe it. It was like super easy. Must be because the terminals are copper and not metal, but they look terrible, but they actually came right apart. You could tell them shutoffs are done for. So that cable was able to come all the way around perfectly, which is exactly what we wanted. So that went all the way around, actually in a loom. Or not a loom, but hose holders. And then the ground was a little short, so I just brought it in here. It doesn't matter if it arcs on that because it's ground. And then here you go. Mint, dude. I cleaned up terminals with the wire brush. Let's hook this bad Larry up and see what we got. I'm hoping for no sparks. There's that one. No sparks, very nice. Hopefully we get keyage. Keep this handy in case. Perfect. Does it start? Nothing there. Is it this? I got nothing. Why you no clicky, dude? Gotta be... That will do it. That will definitely do it. So this was just a temporary deal. What we need to do is take these two terminals and crumple them together. But for the meantime, that's just chickadee checking it out. Oh, that junk. Might have to delete some of that shit too back there. Oh wow, that starter's quiet. Oh, that shut power right off. So, gotta be one of the circuit breakers then. Probably one of these is bad, is my guess. So there's two. This one ain't even hooked up. One of these is like the ground side, believe it or not. It's really freaking goofy. All right, fellas. Well, I traced out this absolute disaster of a wiring show. Stuff's hooked up wrong. I'm struggling. I'm struggling because of idiots. So I put a circuit breaker in this. This is 21. This is the charge line, goes into the dash, and everything runs off of that. So this is a 90 amp. This would be your factory circuit breaker. It's essentially, it's the same one that was on here. This goes to the glow plugs. Back when it was had glow plugs before it was a direct injection motor. So we don't need that anymore unless the idiot has it hooked up somewhere else, because somebody's been in here bastardizing this poor thing. Behind the dash is a mess. It looks like it was almost on fire. People are idiots. Look what I found on the charge wires, boys. Look at those. They've been hot. So that goes into the cab from the alternator and from, you know, the bateria. That's this thing here. So anyway, I changed that circuit breaker. Still doing the same deal. But it occurred to me that I got like a real hit or miss connection over here, which this is your main solenoid here. So you key this up and it basically turns everything in the truck on, that one. And it's kind of spotty, to be honest with you. It don't have a nice click to it. It's very suspect. Either that or the key switch is junk. I'm not sure which, but yeah, we're gonna have to do something here. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was, see this wire? This is obviously not factory Peterbilt. Just runs through the dash, right off of the hot terminal. No big deal. Comes out over here and goes to the shutdown switch. So I don't know if he couldn't get that to work with the factory wiring. I know it doesn't work, so maybe that was part of his troubleshooting, which is wild. That looks like it was been there a long time. So I highly doubt it was troubleshooting. But anyway, totally not fused, just free balling. Perfect. Idiots. So what I've got to find, one of these is actually the wire, I think. All right, boys. I haven't even hit the key yet, but I got her. I think I've got her figured out. This wire here, 239. This is 239. Is always a ground. I took it. Those were all over there. This is the two wires I had just hooked together. I put them in a thing, connected them permanently. So this goes to the starter. This is what actuates the starter. Normally what would happen is it would run through the series parallel, but we deleted that. So 239 is the ground, runs through a harness. What I did was, this thing had the wrong color terminal on it. It was purple, this side where it's black now. And it was labeled 287, which is a hot wire. That's your charge wire. So when I hooked this up originally, at least I don't know what happened. I got to look back at the footage, but somehow this is the other end of that 239 right here, and you can see it's on the negative post. with the rest of these wires, even though these wires are red, they're number 82, which is ground. So this 239 was on the positive lug. And so while I was back here testing stuff with that 287, when it had that purple end on it, what I did was I touched it to the negative side and it friggin' arced real hard. And I was like, oh shit. Because this is your other side of it. This is 297. This would be hot normally, and it would run to the starter, and it goes to the series parallel for the charge circuit or something like that. So I got rid of that entirely. We're gonna double check here in a minute when we key it up for power, make sure there's nothing on it. But yeah, that is gone. That was that was connected wrong, so I'm hoping maybe it was throwing something in the cab for a loop. So we'll see here in a second. I don't know if it's, maybe it'll freaking kill me here. That sounds much better. Now it's super reliable. I think that was what was wrong with it. See if it friggin' cranks. It tried to. Maybe my batteries are dead? It's definitely trying to turn now, though. Alright, fellas, well, as you can see, there's clearly been some shenanigans out here. I've been like messing with this thing forever. Go on, special ed. I know what you want. What I noticed was every time I tried to crank it, even when I swapped the batteries out, obviously these are cab over batteries, didn't make a lick of difference. Did the exact same thing, so at that point I knew it wasn't batteries, it was me. So something was going on. And what I noticed was every time I tried to crank it, this little ground wire would get warm. And so that's why I have this circuit breaker bypass. I figured maybe it was internal resistance because this came with the truck, so I figured maybe it was junk. So obviously bypass it, same deal. So then I was like, all right, something else is going on. Now, the negative terminal here does not look bad at all. On the starter side, however, it's a whole different ballgame. It's wasted. You couldn't see that because it was under the thing. I peeled it back. So when that cable got when it got warm, what I was thinking is, hey, it's not getting a ground somehow, and that's why I was trying to pull a ground through the little harness instead of the big harness. So now what we got? Let's see if I can get you fired up here. Cranks right over, dude. Cranks right over. So, problem resolved. I'm gonna run I had the positive cable out because I tested that one too. And that one obviously isn't the issue. So I gotta run that back in the loom and get that back in there. And we're gonna take the regular negative cable, get rid of it, and take this one. I gotta bring it in the shop and put a new end on it, because we're not using that style post. Put a new end on it here, and then I'll run this throughout the truck. And this one's wicked long, so this will be no issue to get all the way around into the battery compartment there the way it's supposed to go. And I think there's enough of it I could probably even get it over onto this far terminal. I like to try to split the terminals whenever I can, you know, put your positive on one and the negative on the other. I don't know why, I don't know if it matters or not, but it makes me feel a little bit better about being me. All right, fellas, we're all hooked up. I got fuel. Check the oil, it's still got oil in it. That's cool. I don't know what this is gonna do. I don't really expect it to actually run. It's been sitting here since, well, since the last time you guys saw it ran on video and we unloaded it here. I literally haven't started it, moved it, nothing. Haven't attempted to start it. So the whole point was to try to get it to go off of the key. So let's see, maybe we'll get lucky. Jeez, it's like really trying. I think we're gonna need either give her a sniff or something. Turbo's free, that's good. Oh, this is tight. Move that. Oh, you idiot. Maybe this was on those. Maybe this was on the shutdown. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? I bet you that was it. Oh, somebody ate something they shouldn't have. Idiot. We gotta be getting close. Oh, these seats, dude. This is abusive. Junk. Oh yeah, I can smell it. Building oil pressure. That's cool. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere. So we gotta, it's not picking up fuel. I thought maybe the ether would pop it off, just give it enough, but apparently she wants to fight today. Here, boys, looks like we're shit out of luck for today. We'll have to revisit this another time. I popped the fuel filter off. Figured I'd spare you that detail. It's right full of fuel, but I want you to take a look at this thing. I don't know if it'll show up. There's all sorts of schmoo in it. I don't know if it's right on the top or not. I don't know. Filters are cheap though, and motors are expensive. So we're gonna buy some filters and revisit this another day. All right, fellas, well, we just got back from the store. Everybody's favorite. Actually, I'm wearing their shirt today. Capital Ant Truck Parts. Had one of them there Caterpillar filters in stock. Donaldson, so even better. But yeah, I figured we'd go ahead and change this out because it was quite schmooey. While I was there, I also got a couple of, what do you call it, some things for the thing. Ugh. God, that looks like shit. Actually, the fuel looks alright. Ooh. There's definitely some schmoo in there. Good thing we're doing this, I think. I think that could have been a lot of our issue. Ugh. I also think I'm going to pull this primer off of here and maybe see about rebuilding it. Click. Perfect. And I only got fuel absolutely everywhere. Nice job. Looking at this, upon closer examination, I could be totally wrong. I'm sure you'll holler at me. I was under the assumption that this terrible looking line here was outlet, because it goes to this. But I believe that's just over there, I think that's the gear rotor pump that is like suction side. So that pulls from the tank. This comes into this primer, goes out here, and up into the actual pump up in here. And that's what, because this is where the actual fuel is. So I think I was looking at this wrong, and that makes sense, being I don't think the issue is in the primer. I think the primer's not working because we can't pull suction through this line. I think it's just sucking air, which would explain why the truck no runny and isn't pulling any fuel. So I'm just kind of looking at this to see. Looks like it's -6. I'll see what I got in stock and we'll go from there. Jimmy, you're so pretty. Look at you. What a fluff. What a fluff he is, fellas. That is 11/16. Rookie shit today, boys. Apparently, it's been too long since I worked on a truck. Zero kitty experience, fellas, so this is all new to me. I mean, other than the fuel part, nothing like sucking air. So these things are really all the same. There's nuances to each engine design, you know, but for the most part, none of them like running on air. That was actually a little loose. That could have been my issue too. Looks like somebody put Teflon on this. Either that or it's paint. Early to tell yet. Either way, I can't stand looking at this line, so we're gonna replace it. That coolant hose ain't far behind either, eh? Might be next. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't even break that. Thought for sure that was a goner. All right, next what we gotta do, are these? I can't remember, are these 11/16 or 3/4? 11/16, all right, so we'll take this wrench in with us. Fellas, new hose. Had some real nice used stuff in stock, which is perfect for a project like this. So that's what we're using. Looks like it went down here, would make the most sense. And then, let's see. Kind of like that. So this one, what I did was I rotated that fitting on the pump. I don't know if you can see it. Hoping you can. So now it points straight up and down, and then it'll come down like so. Gump, you are a genius. Try to keep that a little bit long so it would kind of do that. Careful now. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. All right, fellas, well, I went ahead of you and put new heater hoses on. We bypassed the sleeper heater core, so I just run them up to here. Put this one on here because it was rubbing on the frame, so that ought to fix that leak. And then I figured we ought to look at this. Pulled it off there, and surprise, surprise, it's just like an old school GM fuel pump, really, like off of you know, like one of them cam driven fuel pumps off an old gas motor. But I don't know if you can see, there's a piece of shit metal down in there. No bueno. Dig into this here and bring you back. Maybe I can get that piece of metal out of there. Maybe it'll actually do something. But that explains why it feels the way it feels. All right, fellas, well, I was able to get those pieces out. They're metal. don't know what they are. Both of them are metal. But who's to say they weren't in there when they put that on? Well, we're gonna do this my way. Hopefully. Now it's a gear rotor pump, so it should just figure its own shit out. Shouldn't be rocket appliances here. So we'll keep that above the pump, and should mean it won't lose prime. So what we got to do is just crank it. The pump needs to just have a little bit of fuel in it, I think, to grab suction again. So that's what that will do. Seems like it's out of gear. What's still with that? Boys, well, I figured it out. That melty harness is an intermittent connection. And as soon as I touch that, all of a sudden I got my power back in the cab, which makes sense because that's where power comes from to the cab. See if we get anything. Oh yeah. That thing should be pulling fuel now. Now she's trying. Now we got fuel. No smoky smoke yet though. Kind of surprised by that. Sick. That was very uneventful. I kind of wanted to get a look at oil pressure, etc. Perfect. Oh yeah, all the oil pissies. No fuel pressure.
How dare you?
Sick. Now she's just gotta make air. God, when that thing catches, it's just like dead quiet. Why is it so quiet? All right, fellas, I think that's gonna do it for me and Special Ed here and the shitty kitty. for this video. Next video, we're gonna sort out the air system, secure the tank, cut James's strap off of the drive shaft, and replace maybe a few more coolant hoses, and then hopefully try to drive it. It won't have any brakes, but we'll just be really careful, I think. Anyway, that's gonna be the plan. Thanks for tuning in. All you guys watching, I know that a lot of you are here just because of this truck, so I wanted to try to do something with it this year. I don't know how far we're gonna get on it this year, but there is some things I do want to get done on it, and we got to move it from where it is, so it's got to be movable. I'm not sure how crazy we're gonna get to make it that way, but stay tuned. There'll definitely be more coming on this truck, and there's gonna be a ton on the cab over this year. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one, and head up the website, buy something. Old2stroker.com. Really appreciate you guys. Have a good one.